Welcome to the adventure of Canada. A missive has just arrived for our noble heroes. The king is in danger, they hear. There's 6th graders with nukes at the Blurry Castle. We need your help. Eager to save the king, the 3 heroes set out on an adventure across the lands of fantasy Canada to save the beloved Blurry King. You enter into the Queen's Tavern, a famous establishment. Inside, you notice a bunch of patrons sitting around at tables. You see Queen Rosaline standing behind the bar. But in the center of the bar are 2 bears fighting in what is clearly an illegal fighting bear ring. You hear the patrons screaming and chanting, "Bear fight! Bear fight!" What do?
Phase 1, my plan is to grow weed.
Okay, where? And you hear a faint little squeaky noise. Hey, get me out of this Parmigiano Reggiano! With even like a muffled gunshot in the background.
Knew my rap reads.
I will use the Bic lighter to try and set the witch on fire for the mafia.
I'm not clear why you guys are so pro-mafia, really, but Doug runs up to the witch and tries to use a Bic lighter on her. 16 or above, and you light her on fire. A nat 20! And the party headed north to the volcano geese nest.
Well, our Twitch chatters managed to burn a woman to death, hurt a bear, introduce coke to a child, burned an innocent, and now burned a child and rat to death. What a good party.
Burned 2 women to death. The party, after traveling for days, approaches the gigantic volcano. And as they emerge at the top of the rim and look down into the crater, they're horrified or delighted to see a bunch of goblins drowning in what appears to be a gigantic pool of salsa. Ah! Meanwhile, 3 more goblins are being pushed off the edge of like a diving board thing by 3 gigantic Canadian geese.
Hey.
And this geese is maybe high also. I think I speak for everyone when I say, ah. As the adventurers barge in through the open castle walls, they're met with a horrifying scene, like a dozen 6th grade goblins standing around the very king of fantasy Canada strapped to a nuke.
A hawk.
And the king screams out, "Oh, adventurers, please rescue me from this nuke. Don't let them destroy fantasy Canada." Adventurers, what do?
Light the nuke and run.
You hear the 7th grader yell out, "We'll do it. We'll launch the nuke." But before he can finish the sentence, Doug starts running forward, holding his Bic lighter.
Doug, no.
And the 7th grader says, "Holy fuck, no, hold on.
Doug, make fire.
This is a bluff. We weren't actually
Doug,
going to set it off." And he tries to stop you, but you're running at full speed. The flame ignites, and suddenly, boom! A massive explosion erupts from underneath the rocket, and you hear the king yell out,
Wait a second, is that guy from Missouri? I'm fucked.
as the rocket engines begin, and you see the king shoot off into the atmosphere, and you look up into the sky. Certainly the nuke won't land. Certainly the nuke malfunctioned. You wait for just a moment until you see the king on his rocket slowly shooting down towards Earth.
I do cocaine to try
I
and
want to
outrun
run
the
back
nuke
to the
squad.
I
castle.
cast Scramble on the king.
Wait, why? Doug runs back into the castle hoping it'll help him. Goob looks at you, Egg, and he says, "Can I have a little cocaine before we die?"
I will save him.
Pringle casts Scramble, and for some reason,
Hey, race a bump, bro.
swaps himself with the king, who finds himself
Jump in
on the
the water.
ground next to his subjects. Pringle, now strapped to the nuke, is watching it careen towards the earth. The goblins are all screaming in the background. Ah! The king and Goob and Egg are just doing cocaine. Doug's hiding in the castle. He's probably going for the popcorn. And as Goob and the king and Egg
Nuke, please.
do one last line,
We are so porked.
the nuke crashes into the cheese woods and explodes in a
I
massive
cast
fire.
Scramble on the 7th grader.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on, before that happens. Pringle uses Scramble one more time, swaps out, and the 7th grader swaps places onto the nuke and screams, "Wait, what the fuck?" As the rocket goes down and boom! Explodes over everything! Fantasy Canada is saved!
Congratulations, Doug.
As the fire and the flames slowly fade away, you realize that, sadly, the frying pan and the goblins and the king and the bear have all perished in the nuclear explosion. But turns out Doug made it out alive. Doug was safe in the castle. It was nuke-proof. Let's go, Doug! And that means Doug is the new king of fantasy Canada and gets to enjoy all the popcorn to himself. Let's go, Doug! Ooh, ooh, ooh,
I
ooh.
will hang you, Doug, with all
Let's
my
go
cracked
victory, y'all are
ability
dead like
till
Coop.
the end of this bag.
Good job, Doug.
And literally nobody except Doug lived happily ever after. And thus, Doug made his way to the center of Fantasy Canada and set the entire thing on fire. The end.